Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with the recovering Democrat and his cat on this Demetra K show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even. Donovan, can you mute your mic? With the emphasis on even, because we are already very dope and dynamic. So anyway, today we're going to have a discussion about politics, but I just kind of want to start it off with something I saw today on Twitter. And so I'd like to say thank you to YouTube, and usually Facebook would be here too, but I'm still on suspension from going live on Facebook due to some nonsense from 2018. Anyway, that's almost up in about a week, and so we'll be back on both platforms. But anyway, thank y'all for being the other side of the conversation, where we could not do this without you, and we wouldn't do this without you. Also like to say thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything he does behind the scenes and making the show go further. And of course, Donovan, he does all right. I want to thank him too. So anyway, Donovan, what say you before we get started?
I just want to say welcome to the Demetra K show. I want to give you guys a quick update. This week coming up, there's going to be a heat dome across the United States, so please stay hydrated. And I know we don't take that stuff seriously. You got that uncle that likes to drink beer all the time. Make sure he drinks some water with the beer. You've got to stay hydrated, because in situations like this, too many people die unnecessarily straight out of ignorance. So just be careful as this heat wave continues to come through. And we want to welcome you guys to the Demetra K show. We're going to get into this conversation about Mr. Kanye West, who Demetra's brother advised as a financial advisor. And as you guys know, Kanye West is worth $4 billion plus. So there's got to be some thing to the madness of how he got there. But we'll go into that as well. So, and guys, please do not mind my cats. So.
We never do. So anyway, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to get a couple things out of the way. I guess now I have a super chat up, so you guys can donate that way if you want. And the Pioneer, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. I think it's up and running now. You guys let me know if it's not. Also like to say here that we do have a Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal for anybody who don't want to, do the super chat or whatever it is. And you want to just donate directly to helping new Black media, helping us to deliver more insightful commentary. You guys are more than welcome to doing that, and I appreciate that. Also, before I want to get started, I also want to shout out Brian Williams, who I am a friend of on Facebook, and I think he's friends with quite a few other people in the chat. But he has started a thing called Hood Rich. Now, what that means is he, picks one of his friends from his friends list, and he puts their Cash App up, and he just impresses upon people to donate $1 or whatever to that person. And he selects a person each day, to help with group economics and just, put a little money in each one of our pockets. And so I actually got involved because I think it's an awesome thing to help one another, because, depending on how much money is raised, you never know. Somebody might have not had any money that day, and then their name gets selected, and, random people that they don't know just say, here's $1, and you comment Hood Rich. That way they know where it's coming from. And so I think it's awesome. And we all need to think of innovative ways to help each other. Not really just to get by, but to get in the mindset of practicing group economics, right? Circulating Black dollars. As Nipsey Hussle said, all money in, which means we keep all our money in-house, right? So again, I want to say a big, giant thank you and shout out to Brian Williams for starting that program there. Hood Rich. All right.
Okay, wait. Before we start, I happen to notice you have a very interesting shirt on. Could you please enlighten us on that interesting shirt?
So, yes, and y'all be forgetting. I'm going to get to this really quick, because I know I hate when I be watching people and they give all these commercials and all this, that, and the other. I like to get right into it. But anyway, so I thought of this idea for a shirt. It says, I'm not Black. Now, of course, I'm Black, right? But it says, I'm not Black because I didn't vote for Joe Biden, right? Because remember, he said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. And so I decided to kind of make a joke out of it, and really to help spur the conversation about what Joe Biden has done or not done for us as Black people, because he did. He said, if you don't vote for me, when he was on the Breakfast Club with Charlamagne, you don't vote for me, you ain't Black, right? And that's another shirt we have, a hold the vote until. And so Black people overwhelmingly voted for him. And what did he do besides tell you, you know, you ain't Black? And so we're going to have this t-shirt up on our website tomorrow. Donovan will put the link up there if you guys are interested. Our t-shirts are very inexpensive, by the way, but I just thought it was funny. Very, very great conversation starter. All right, let's get to it. So I was strolling along on Twitter, as I sometimes do, and I came across, actually, let me find it really quick, because now I ain't going to be able to show y'all nothing unless I find it. I came across this guy, and I guess I followed him. His name is Eaton Thomas. And he is or was a basketball player, I guess it was. He played for the Oklahoma Thunder, Washington Wizards, and Atlanta Hawks. You guys probably know who he is. I don't. So anyway, he put this tweet up, and I'm going to put it up so you guys can see what I'm saying without me rambling on here. I think that's it. Yes. Okay, here we go. All right, so if you guys can see this tweet, and you guys please do us a favor, share and like this video and all that so everybody can get the information during the conversation. All right, so as you see here, he says, so, hashtag Kanye West spent the last few years buddying up to a white supremacist who tried to instigate a race war, and y'all are still going to hype his album like none of that happened? All right, then. And so then I came back and said, Cardi B kicked it with Biden, who unapologetically shitted on Black people, and y'all still gonna hype her like none of that happened? All right then. Because and again, I don't know what else he does besides play basketball. I guess I've seen him on, you know, engaging in some sort of scholarly conversations before. But I just thought, are we really still mad at Kanye? I mean, for one thing, that's his right to talk to Trump if he wants to. For some reason, we get off on this thing like all Black people should be Democrats and we all should think the same way. Now, again, I didn't vote for Trump either, just because I didn't vote for Biden. I didn't vote for Trump either. But I'm thinking, so y'all going to gloss all the way over the stuff that Joe Biden has not done for Black people and continue to try to nail Kanye to the cross. Now, Kanye is supposed to come out with an album on Friday. It's called Donda. It hasn't dropped yet. You know, people are anticipating this album. He had a big album release listening party, whatever it was, a couple days ago. And so that's why I guess he tweeted that, because people are waiting for the album to drop. But I just thought, like, wow, y'all want to continue talking about Trump, who is not in office anymore. Even though he's running his mouth and he's saying he's going to run and he was cheated, all that, he's still not in office anymore. The person that is in office has completely shown Black people his entire backside. He has all but verbally told us to kiss his butt. He has not done anything specifically for Black people, even though he's specifically done things for other people. You name it, they've got something specific, including Asians, who are a relatively new class, a race, if you will, in America, right? And they have, within a year's time of experiencing, I guess, an uptick from what they're saying of racism, they have gotten a bill to where they are protected people. Black people are not. With all the hell that we've been through in this country, they are still trying to decide if they want to pass the George Floyd and Policing Act. The Emmett Till bill is still not passed, and we're really still fighting over voter rights. Now, I know the voter rights thing applies to everybody, but you guys know specifically who they're targeting. They are targeting Black people, because, and I say they, I'm going to go ahead and say the Republicans, because they know that Black people are really the deciding factor for Democrats right now, and it's just a fact, right? And so Black people are still fighting for the very minimal things in this country and things that we should have, but yet people continuously want to talk about Trump, Kanye, or anybody else. But it's like, y'all, are y'all purposely not talking about Joe Biden even though you know he's done nothing specifically for Black people? Or are these people, and again, I don't know anything else about Eaton Thomas other than he played basketball at one point in time. Are these people paid to come and be a distraction so we'll stop asking, Joe, what about Black people? Remember, you said, you ain't Black if you don't vote for me. I'ma stand by you because you stood by me. You know, are these distractions? But why? And if you guys, any of you guys voted for Joe Biden in the comment section and, you know, you've kind of gone dormant, can you tell us why? So anyway, Donovan, what say you before I get to these comments?
Well, golly, you said exactly what I would say. I mean, and that's what it is. You got to remember, Americans have a very, very short memory. That's why we keep getting into these wars without asking questions. We just go with, you know, what the news media puts out in front of us. And you're absolutely right. You know, it is a way to keep us distracted from actually seeing what Joe Biden is or isn't doing. You know, the less you talk about him and you got us fighting against each other about trivial stuff. Again, you made a good point. Trump is not in office. It doesn't matter if you think Kanye was cooning and booning when he was, you know, in the White House with Trump. Trump is not in office anymore. So why does what a $4 to $6 billion man says or does? He is economically free. He's a free Black man. So when you got that kind of money, you can do those type of things. So that's what it is. Again, I've been saying on my show, on my podcast, where are these Joe Biden supporters? What happened to them? So you mean to tell me you guys showed up, showed out, and then when the shit got back on your face, you disappear? No, you're still out there. But, you know, like I said, I have a lot of them that are friends of mine talk about, I'm not in politics no more. You know, but yet we give Cardi B a pass. We give, you know, we give Kamala a pass. We give all these people a pass. Look at all of the sycophants that ran in the primaries that basically the Democratic Party said, get in line. And immediately, I support Joe Biden. I support Joe Biden. I said, we're giving them a pass too. Oh, Ben Carson, he did this. Ben Carson's not in office anymore. And he's an idiot to begin with. You know, so yeah, I agree with you. Let's get to these comments. And if you're in the comment and you voted for Joe Biden, tell us, you know, what's up. Yeah, you guys have been silent. You guys aren't so strong in your opinion anymore. And you have a right. If that's what you want to do. My thing is, don't tell me you voted for somebody just to be voting, because if that's the case, you're a dangerous person. Tell us why you voted for that person, because maybe I might want to, you know, go that angle, something I didn't know. Educate us on why, and maybe, you know, we could do something with that. So yeah, let's get into the comments and find out.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for being patient. I'm gonna get to your comments right now. Morning, what's going on? It says, first to be on, glad to see both of you celebrating my birthday. I love you, Demetri and Donovan. Thank you for always keeping it real. Much love. I think you meant Detroit love always. Demetri is a very hot. You said very hot in Detroit. I think you're trying to say, okay, well, it's very hot too. I got a fan on and an air conditioner. It ain't helping. And let's see here. Jafia, what's going on with you? Says, good evening, Demetri and Donovan. Same to you and the Pioneer. As always, hello. He says, good evening, beautiful sister and good brother. And you also say hello, good evening to the chat. And Moni says, how can you get mad at Kanye when he sold his soul to the devil? Now he's got to pay for it. The mental challenges are demon possession. Let's be clear, in the years of the ox, you will reap what you have sown. Okay.
Well, let me answer that real quick, Moni. Now, he got with Kim Kardashian before Trump was in office. So are you saying that he sold his soul before he met with Trump, or how are you clarifying that?
Yeah, please do tell us. And Robin, what's going on with you? You also say, Moni, I think when Facebook starts to suspend somebody, Demetri, for something they did in 2018, it kind of goes like this: the hell with them. Let's create our own platform so that the white supremacists cannot control the narrative. Absolutely. That's what we need to do. There are some other platforms, you know, we just really got to get on them and start supporting them, right? And the Pioneer said, yes, it's like a mafia boss would say, yeah, it's good. And Eli, how you doing? And Jafia said, in that case, I'm not black either, right? You know? And he also said, no, I also didn't vote for Trump. Me either, and Donovan either. Ramona says, Demetra and Donovan, do you have an Instagram account? And if so, can you give us the link so that we can follow you on Twitter and Instagram? I have an Instagram, but I'm rarely on there. I said I'm going to start getting back on there to do some other stuff.
Yeah.
Like stuff.
Yeah, you can find me on. I'm on Instagram. My name Donovan Sadiq, and then I'm on Twitter as the IE Informer.
Yes, indeed. And Donovan, if you put it in the comment section, I'll put it up on the thing so people can know where to look for you. And Robbie said, you know, Ethan. Okay, yeah, I mean, I've seen him around, but not really for sure what his capacity was. But now I learned that he's I guess an ex NBA player. But now it sounds like he's trying to get into academia, I guess, and you know, the conversation a little bit more. Fight for Black, how you doing? It says Queen Demetra, King Donovan, peace and power to you both. Same to you. Thank you. Hey, Ashanti, how you doing? Pam, what's going on? Pioneer says, I said we should be supporting neither of them, Trump nor Biden. I'm not going to choose Lucifer over Satan. And that's where we were. We're not going to choose the lesser two evils. Malcolm X told us not to do that so many years ago. Monet, how you doing? And Monet said, all these people are nothing but liars and everything is going to be hitting the fan. You'll see what little Miss Man, Mr. Biden has done this week, this new week, Saturday, when they take that moratorium off on July 31st. Yes, didn't they extend it, or is it this month it's going to end?
Yeah, I think they extended it again for like another 30 days. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Leather Luxury Cars, how you doing? Don't work too hard. And Jafia says the only people that shouldn't be forgiven when it comes to Trump, T-Rump, as you say, is those two ignorant sisters who always look like cartoon characters. Talking about Diamond and Silk. Yeah, where have they been? Are they out the pasture now? Are they done for? What's really going on?
Well, I think they're still on Fox, YouTube, or something like that. Whatever that one lower level thing is. So, and then remember they were out there for the Mike the Pillow Guy rally. That was like boring. So.
Oh, but other than that, it's like Diamond and Silk. Where you at?
You know, and it's so sad when the butter biscuits are done. You know, it's like.
That's usually how it is.
Yeah, you guys went out there like that, and look at how they did you. White supremacy, when they're done with their tools, they always break them. Always.
And then I think Facebook suspended their account, where that's where a lot of their money was coming from too. I mean, they have like millions of views, like Candace Owens, you know. And hey, Honeydew, how you doing? And Donovan says Biden said during the campaign, yes, I will sign it if it makes it to my desk. Then he said reparations, don't count on that after he got in office. Exactly what happened. Pioneer says we're going to continue running into these disagreements with each other over which devil is the worst devil until we separate from all of them and start building our own communities. Absolutely. And Fight for Black and say, okay, remember please, that Trump wanted to meet with the Congressional Black Con Job to discuss the Black community. The Congressional Black Caucus didn't comply, right? Because they went off on, you know, this narrative that Trump was evil. Trump is the devil. We shouldn't listen to Trump at all. But, you know, to your point, he wanted to talk to them because they're supposed to represent Black people, right?
And historically, the Congressional Black Caucus always meets with the incoming president or the new administration since their inception. So that was like a traditional thing. And then Trump gets in there, all of a sudden they're like, oh, no, we can't meet with him.
Right. So, you know, they're supposed to be for Black people. They should be trying to do all that they can to get an agenda for Black people. But that wasn't what they were interested in. And let's see here. And Honeydew says he sure did, Donovan. And Marty says, let us know more about your t-shirts, Demetra, specifically. Donovan, I like his display. It's very beautiful. It reminds me of a golf player with the sexy glasses, chocolate wine. Again, ladies, put your starting bid in the comment section. Donovan is on sale, if you will. He's on sale.
Have you guys ever wondered why I'm always with Demetra? I'm here to get her the women, you know, attract the women into the thing. You know what I mean? I'm just here for looks.
Right. He's for sale. Okay. He's for sale. I don't know why my thing is so dark. It's weird. Okay. So anyway, let's see here. Let me close this too. All these distractions. Okay. Anita, how are you doing? No, I missed a comment. I missed a few comments.
Ashanti.
Oh. Where?
Ashanti, I definitely didn't vote for none of them, but I did vote.
Yeah, because all my comments just jumped up. Okay, there you go. And then Imani, I hope I said that right, says most definitely are distractions. And how you doing, by the way? And Stacy says, good night, beautiful people, D and D. Dr. No Job, how you doing? He says, remember, West said slavery was a choice, and he said Harriet Tubman did not do anything. Yes, he did say those things. I'm kind of fuzzy on the Harriet Tubman comment. I'm not saying he didn't say it. I'm just kind of fuzzy on exactly what that was about. But he did say slavery was a choice. But a lot of people were saying maybe he meant modern day of the things that we continue to do as Black people. And I will say this. Y'all know I love Farrakhan, and Farrakhan backed him up. He says, you know, he really believes what Kanye was trying to say is that we are choosing modern day slavery by not practicing group economics, not loving each other, not having knowledge of self, continuing to, you know, be oppressed by, you know, helping the oppressors. One of the other ways that we do that is by voting. Again, we keep crying about voter suppression, but we keep suppressing ourselves every time we go in the booth and vote for somebody who's not going to do anything for Black people. That's also a form of voter suppression.
Right, for 60 years. We've been doing it for 60 years. Right. So why are you guys complaining now?
Right. But so the point that I'm making is when you go into the booth and vote for somebody who's not, and you know they're not going to do something for us as Black people, that's voter suppression. So you can't cry about the white man oppressing you or, you know, suppressing your vote by doing all this stuff. And then you go in the booth and vote irresponsibly. It's the same thing. So I think that's kind of what Kanye was getting at. Don't quote me. I don't know for sure. But if you think about it in terms of what we do to each other now, it is a form of slavery. And you know, to some degree is a choice. We're talking about in today's time. I ain't talking about the Middle Passage.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, let's talk about today's time. If that is the case and there is voter suppression going on, and you guys believe that the Republicans are doing voter suppression, which they are, what's stopping the Democrats from on the federal level from making a law that says that the states can't do that? They've got the votes. They've got the presidency. Do you see what I'm saying? We're always making excuses. Oh, look what the Republicans are doing. A distraction this way. And we're not even realizing that, wait a minute, they've got the presidency. They've got the House. They've got the Senate. They can make a law that can squelch all of that. Why haven't they?
They all in cahoots. And Jafai says, if I did too much talking about Jim Crow, I would end up kicked off of YouTube again because I am filterless. Yeah, they kick a lot of people off for being filterless, but you know, we kind of gotta use code words here and there, and you know, until they find out what we saying, then we gotta make up some more, right? Morning says, Donovan, I'm celebrating my birthday and drinking some chocolate wine, and it is awesome. First time in quite a few years of having some. Woke up my taste buds. Now I got my mind right. Okay, now.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. Fill up the water in the tub, throw some rose petals in there, throw some candles around there, and I'll be there in about 15 hours if I get on the right flight.
Okay. The Pioneer says, I didn't vote for Biden over Obama. He says, second term, laugh out loud. I remember racist Biden, and Obama was the first nice-looking Black politician who could speak well, and that America should give him a chance, quote unquote. Laugh out loud. The Fight for Black says LBJ's past remarks were, if I sign that civil rights bill, these niggas will vote for a Democrat for the next 200 years, quote unquote. Martin Luther King did work with LBJ, a known racist, and he also did work with that of Margaret Sanger, who was a known eugenist, who was the creator of Planned Parenthood and was specifically trying to exterminate Black people and sterilize Black women. So, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, Imani says, love the hair, Mr. Meacher. Thank you so much. I try not to comb my hair anymore, especially in this heat. And Pam says, joke Biden supporters are cowering in a corner. Yeah, like, where y'all at?
Yeah, a lot of them. You know, a lot of them are your friends that are going to like places and like vacationing to New York City and stuff. You know, they're trying to distract you from saying, aren't you a Biden supporter? Because now they want you to talk about their trip that they went on, or the wedding, or the, you know, we're going to do a girls trip and stuff like that. So you guys don't corner them.
Right. And he said, Anita, he says, sorry, I'm late. No, you're right on time. And Jafar says they didn't just show up and show show out. I think he made some like Roland Martin acted a damn fool. And he's still acting a damn fool. Y'all go on Twitter right now. Tariq Nasheed put something up regarding him and, you know, the jab. I won't get too much into it, but you guys can check it out. And he's just doing the bidding, trying to get some old butter biscuits.
And you're also your girl, Simone Sanders. Notice that this white lady, Pataki, is about to leave office in like 6 months. She's going to leave her post. And all of a sudden, Simone Sanders' face has reared up on different networks and she's starting to speak, but not for Kamala. She's speaking on, you know, different things that is going on in the administration and all that other stuff, about the jab and all that other stuff. Isn't that funny how they roll these people out specifically and certain things that have to do with Black folks?
Yes, indeed. All right. And let's see here. And Monica said the moral of the story is that if you reap what you sow, many times God will put your very enemy at your footstool, making it where, I mean, with the things they say they won't do will or turn around and contradict itself. Okay. Robin says, I didn't vote for Biden. And Ashanti says, Black people are not a monolith. We are responsible for our own action. I don't listen to Kanye or anything related to political issues. If he has good music, I may give it a listen. There you go. And you said it perfectly.
Vote your own interest, not nobody else's. If you're a Democrat, okay, in your district, you know, you get these guys, they get up there and they're like, well, you know, they come back home and, you know, the town hall and they say, well, you know, we got to vote the Democratic agenda. MFer, we didn't send you up there about no damn Democratic agenda. We sent you up there to bring the bacon back home to this district. What Democratic agenda are you talking about?
Yep. Monica says, I would not care what this man put out on any longer. I will not be supporting none of his records, knowing that he's a complete sellout. And I just considered a mental unbalanced man needs help ASAP. Well, I mean, can I ask you this? And you don't have to answer it. I just want to put this out there before I get to the other comments. How mentally unstable is he if he is worth, they say, what, 2 to 3 to 5, 6 billion?
$4 to $6 billion, depending on what numbers you use, but minimum of 4.
Yeah, so roughly $4 to $6 billion. You know, I mean, it's always funny how they think people who are different or who think outside of the box are crazy or off their rocker. If you actually really take the time to listen to Kanye, Kanye is not crazy. Kanye is saying a lot of things that a lot of other people have been saying. Marcus Garvey's, Claude Anderson's, Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I mean, he's not. He just. We got to stop. We got to get out of the habit of calling people crazy who do not think like we do, right?
It's like our politicians. Listen to what they're telling you. Do you guys realize if you really listen to what these politicians are saying and kind of decipher what they're saying, they're basically telling you, we ain't doing shit for you, Black people. Why do you keep voting for us? We're showing you we're not doing nothing for you, and you're still voting for us. Whose fault is that?
Yep. And Anita says it's not extended here in Arizona. Okay, so you're talking about the moratorium on the rent. Yeah, some places is not. And Eric, how you doing? He says, hello, D and Donovan. And Robert says, a lot of Black people just wanted Trump out of the White House, that they didn't care about Biden or Harris's past. Nope. Let's just get him out of there. And then they never answered the question and then get what? Then what once you get somebody?
Wait, and then got somebody in there worse.
Right.
Don't even realize it. Got somebody in there worse because he ran on I'm the status quo. And again, is this guy the author of the crime bill? Now he's trying to write a new crime bill. Now he did all this stuff for all these groups. All those groups are done. Why isn't he doing anything for Black people? This guy is worse.
Right. And Imani says, agree that, Robin, their history is wicked towards Black communities. Yes, indeed. And Mona says, at this point, Dimitri, let's be honest, we're going to have to just go ahead and nationally boycott these people instead of just talking on it because it's not doing anything. They don't value us. Well, again, I'm not interested in boycotting them per se. I'm more interested in working with us. Dr. Claude Anderson says that Black people are actually very good at boycotting. We boycott each other all the time. So let's just reverse it and just start doing business with ourselves, keeping the money in. I went out yesterday. My daughter and I, we went to this Trap Wine Fest is what it was. You know, a Black event where you did a lot of wine tasting and stuff. Caught an Uber. He was Black, thank God, right? Got there to spend money at a Black event. Then we Ubered to a Black vegan restaurant, and that Uber driver was Black, you know, ate at the restaurant, and then we Uber back home. Now that Uber driver, you know, he was white, but he was cool, whatever. And the point that I'm making is We got to start spending money with our own people on purpose instead of saying, well, you know, shop black today. It just needs to be second nature, right? And Anita says they did not learn anything from Stacey Dash. No, Stacey Dash is trying to come on back home. What happened to her, by the way? It's a failed effort. And how you doing? And you also say, Donovan, you look good. Okay, ladies. I think we're at $10.50. Is that what we're at now, Donovan? $10.
Yeah, but the $10 is mine.
Damn, you put money in on your own auction? So $10.50 is where the bid is at, y'all. Yes, Jafia, Donovan is for sale. Not like I'm pimping him or anything. I'm just trying to, I'm doing my part, trying to put him out there on the market, Morning says, Donovan, you look mighty handsome and delicious. I just want you to know, as I am sipping on some chocolate wine, can't wait till you come to Michigan and do an open show, both you and Demetria one day. Well, I'm gonna stay home so y'all can go do what y'all need to do. I ain't I don't need to be a third wheel in y'all little romantic getaway. So let me know how it goes. Hey, Sunlight, how you doing? And Anita, he said, Demetria, all facts. And the Sunlight said, agree. Anita says, white supremacists on both sides. Yep, Democrats and Republicans are homies. And the Pioneer says, Donovan, I'm impressed at how you can sit back joking and chilling like you're enjoying the show with us too, but can still keep up with the comments and tell Demetria exactly which quotes she missed. Yeah, because what happens is if I scroll up just a little bit, the comments jump all the way up to the bottom. And I'm like, so that's why. But yes, Donovan is, what is it? A jack of all trades.
Master of none.
Yeah, but yeah, he wears a lot of hats, as you can see. He's got his regular baseball hat on. He had his, porn cowboy hat on. Yeah. So
I'm gonna wear my spider suit coming up. Halloween's coming up, so my spider suit's got to come on.
He might even show up on here with a wig on one day. Okay, I'm just warning y'all. Robin says exactly what's stopping the Democrats. They have the House, Senate, and presidency. They're playing us as fools. I'm sick of them. Yeah, because we allowing them to do it, right? And Penelope, how you doing? He says, I'm good with Kanye. I don't follow his commentary. I like Kanye for his artistry and all the good things his mother, Dr. Donda, wrote about him. Yes, he's, he's an artist, right? Every way, shape, or form. He's an entrepreneur. He's got his clothing line, his shoe line, and everything you can think of. But my younger brother went and saw Joe Rogan along with Dave Chappelle in Vegas, him and my sister and them. And he said he had heard a lot about Joe Rogan, wasn't really a fan of him because, people say different things. And he says, Joe Rogan made a good point. He says, why are people coming to me for medical advice? He says, I'm just stating my opinion. I'm not a doctor, but people are taking what I'm saying to heart, And I says, well, that's a good point. Kind of like we were saying about Kevin Samuels on Friday. Regardless of what you think about him, I mean, is he making anybody do something they wouldn't already do or say? And whose responsibility is it really? So, and so like he says, question, if the majority of black voters vote Democrat and this is detrimental to blacks and upholds white supremacy, then why are Republicans trying to stop it? Is this political theater?
You got it. You just answered your own question. It is political theater. One thing that white folks on the right and the left have in common, they're white, and they're going to do everything to uphold that. The Democrats are already acknowledging when Joe Biden won the election and he met with those black so-called pastors and leaders, what did he tell them? He told them, you guys are going to have to get along with the Hispanics. So basically what he was saying was, we ain't got to do shit for you guys because you guys are going to be irrelevant. So get in line. That's what he was saying. We don't matter. They matter. And they know that white supremacy has no problem being in the minority as long as they're on top. And that's what this is, political theater. We can't do anything for y'all. See, the Republicans are obstructing. They're obstructing. That's why we can't pass anything. Isn't that what Obama said? But yet he did DACA, and DACA has been in legal limbo ever since. Ever since. The program has to continue until they come to some kind of verdict. We are a political football. And Malcolm X said that years ago. And that's, I wish more people would see that it doesn't make sense that you got all of the power now, everything that you need to run a black agenda, and yet you haven't done it. And the very black people that say they represent people in name, they don't say a word. But they're up there when they're the kente cloth crying for the Hispanics in cages. But we got over 1 million black brothers and sisters in cages right here in the United States. And I don't see them Negroes saying anything about that.
Absolutely. And just really quickly, in regards to, where did it go? Who said that? Was it Sunlight? Sunlight, yeah. In regards to what you said again, our brother Philip Scott has a book out, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind. And in chapter 2, it talks about the truth about colonization. And he says just that. He says, you know, basically white people are all over the world, the colonizer, if you will. They are always going to be in solidarity. Why do we keep trusting that they are going to do the right thing by us? They've shown time and time again, wherever they've gone, that they mean black people no good, whether they are Republicans, Democrats, or whatever. And Malcolm X asked us the question. He says, are they our friends or are they friendly? Because there's a difference. There's a difference. And so y'all again, check this book out by Phil Scott. You guys, of course, know Phil Scott of the African Diaspora News Channel, the creator. But this book is very good. It's very easy to read, but he talks about that. So interesting that he brought that up, Sunlight. So anyway, let's get back to these comments. Tonight, what's going on with you? And Leather and Luxury Car says that comment was spot on. And Mona says, Demetra, I hear you, Ken. You just let us know about your Instagram, and Donovan let us know about your Instagram and your Twitter so that we have multiple networks. I'm sorry that they brought the speech from 2018. Well, it wasn't a speech. It was more like a meme of Mickey Mouse. And they, for some reason, thought I was going to myself. Weird.
Yeah. I get notifications of the stuff I made back in the day. Talk about that's not child appropriate. And so they made it restricted to the kids or whatever. I'm like, that was 8 years ago. But,
right.
Okay.
And why kids on Facebook anyway? I'm just asking. And Penelope says, if black folks are not monolith, then why do blacks vote overwhelmingly for Democrats? That catchphrase is so untrue. Well, I guess they're saying in a way that we're not really a monolith. Now, when it comes to voting, I think it's more of a majority that vote for them. But
well, let me put it like this. We are the only group in the last election, 93% of the black vote went to the Democrats. 93%. Okay. Hispanics. Half of the Hispanics, 43% of the Hispanics voted Republican. The other 47 voted Democrat. Asians, 38% of them voted Republican. The rest voted Democrat and other whatever the other stuff. So if you look at the groupings, we are the only group that overwhelmingly vote one block. The other groups, they vote their interests. So if you're a Hispanic and you're a hustler and you're a business person like the Asians are, notice that because they have an entrepreneur spirit, not that we don't have one, but they have that, they don't vote, well, I'm a Democrat, I'm just going to vote Democrat. No, they vote lower taxes. They vote big business, whatever, what's in their thing. And and that's why they vote the way they do, because we don't have a majority of businesses in our community. We're consumers. So basically we're beggars for the Democratic Party. We depend on Democratic Party daddy to do for us. And so that's why our numbers are overwhelmingly, and they think we are a monolith and we are a group because majority of us do vote Democratic. And that's just the way the numbers are. But the numbers are changing, and they're going to change, especially now that we got the Generation Xers and the Ys and the millennials that are seeing all this bullshit and are pulling away. Now, are they going to vote Republican? Not necessarily.
So I was really just kind of looking up the word monolithic. And it says a group of people who are taught as being all the same. And so to that definition, you're right, Penelope, in that we are taught, we have been, it's just a fact, we have all been taught to vote for Democrats, right? Now we used to be Republicans, but we're speaking really in modern day times. We have all been taught by somebody, your mama, your grandmama, their grandma, all that. We Democrats, you just do it, right? Just because. But I think when people say that we are not monolithic, it means that we as Black people have different things that we like. We don't all like fried chicken. We don't all like watermelon. We all don't go to church and, are all not Baptists. And so basically, I think that's what it means when we say we're not a monolith. But to per what you're saying, you're absolutely correct. And Robin said, I don't care about DACA, immigration, LGBT, nor the ages. My agenda is specifically a Black agenda only, and there's nothing wrong with that. And Penelope says 95% of Blacks are monolithic and 5% of Blacks are free thinkers. We need to be 100% free. Absolutely. And Mona says, I don't get caught up in another man's money one way or another, because at the end of the day, when you sell your soul, you said, Satan will always give you the devices to be rich and take them back. I'll get into that in just a little bit about Satan and all of that. And Sunlight says the Dems keep saying our democracy is at stake. Well, in a democracy, the majority rules. Aren't whites the majority? So whose democracy are they referring to? Absolutely. You know, you posed some real good questions today. And Honeydew says, like Bakari Sellers praised Lil Nas X on Twitter. Now, these are the mainstream media voices, and what the F? And, you know, for the sake of not getting too deep into Lil Nas, my daughter and I had a heated discussion about him. And I said, I believe he's doing it for attention, you know, and she says, no, he's not. He's not doing it for attention. Maybe that's just who he is as an artist. I said, well, maybe it is, but, you know, I think he's doing the most. You know,
is he gay? Is he a gay man or?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, I don't even know. I wouldn't know this guy if I saw him on TV.
Say he is anyway. You know, the Pioneer says, does Brother Walker even talk about Kanye's behavior in real life? Does he say his behavior is strange and eccentric or quirky? I'm sure much of what he does on camera is theatrical. No, he's really that way, and he's always been that way. But you know, you'll find the people who are most creative are that way. You know what I'm saying? It's like, those are the ones that think outside of the box. They don't do what everybody else does, which is how you get inventions and just different things that we need. Like, I'm sure people who created Uber and Google and all of that, I'm sure they were quirky to some degree. Richard Branson. Richard Branson is a billionaire, owns Virgin, everything. He's really quirky. But, you know, you never really hear a lot about those people being quirky and weird and outside the box. But when it comes to our people, and I think this is why I also agree with Penelope, we are supposed to be a monolith. Oh, that's weird. You're not supposed to say those. I'm not saying about you, Pioneer, but we tend to think we're all supposed to feel and do the same things, and that's not true.
Yeah, it's definitely not true. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know if you have an autistic person or autistic child. Just because they're autistic does not necessarily mean that they're not functioning. I know some people that have autism that are geniuses. I mean, you know, they come in different styles and they have their own way of communicating and doing things. So, I mean, what's the difference between an autistic person and a person who just thinks outside the box? Some people would say, for me, being a Black person, the way I think is totally non-Black.
Right.
Yeah.
And Marty says, I want to make it clear that he never has to think like me and vice versa. You look at his action, he's erratic and insane. He hasn't been right since his mom passed away and he needs help. Well, you know, my brother said that he's always been like that, you know, very the way he is. So it's not, yeah, I'm sure he's had some schisms when his mom passed away, but I remember my brother saying that about him even before his mom. And my brother knew his mother fairly well. They, you know, when they talked, he worked with Kanye. He also worked with his mother and trying to help get, you know, Kanye on track financially. So he's always been like that. It's nothing new per se. So let's see here. And then Honeydew says, we may need to add Bakari and to Vicky Diller's League of Mammies. Okay. Thunder says the Democrats are complaining about how Black wokeness is harming the party. Well,
that's right. We don't want no Black folk. You know that the funding the police don't really make the Black folk be bad. You know, like that's not good. Who was I impersonating right there?
That could have been anybody.
James Clyburn.
Okay. And how you doing, by the way, Thunder? So yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, what have they always said about Black unity? When the Black man finally decides to wake up, it's game over for everybody else. And so the Democrats have only been able to do what they're doing because Black people have been asleep, right? And Jafia says, Honeydew, praise. He says, praise Lil Nas. You're talking about Bakari. You know, they got to get on code, right, with the white supremacy. And let's see here. And Moni says, when I speak of boycotting, what I mean is you're not spending with them. You're not promoting their agenda. You're not smiling in their faces, keeping their beds warm at night. You stay away from it. Okay, I can dig it. And Sharon, how you doing? And Moni also say the one thing I can say, Demetra, that white America fears is for you to have enough money and leave this country. Because if enough of us leave, believe me, they will make a law to stop it ASAP. You ain't lying. And the Pioneer says, Donovan, this shows the double standards. You talk about what if me, Frank, and some of the men in the chat flirted heavily with her like women do you. Something tells me that wouldn't last long. You know what? I'm going to tell y'all something. It's funny. I was having this conversation with my daughter the other day. I'm not one of those women if a man says something, oh, me too. Hell. I mean, it's like, come on now, really? My brother said it once. He says, damn, men ain't going to be able to say nothing to y'all. Well, he said, we just going to get to a point where we're not even going to speak to y'all because if we say hi, then you're going to accuse me of trying to sexually assault you or something. So,
yeah, well, the thing is, I don't understand. Like I said, when I might be at the bank or something, I see a woman's nails. I say, oh, those are really nice nails. You know, I'm kind of hesitant to even give them a compliment because what's the point of getting your nails done if you didn't want somebody to notice them, right?
It gets kind of strange, silly season out there, but nah, y'all ain't got to worry about that with me. Plus, I know how to put somebody in their place if they get a little too out of line. I don't need the police. Right from Black and said, all right, Donovan. And Marty says, I think Donovan is worth, almost $1,100. That's my bid for him. And then you have to come on up to Michigan and be my commentator. We could use it. Thank you for being fun, but realistic to being great expressions. Okay, so do I hear that right? The bid is at $1,100 for Donovan. Oh my God, I'm gonna be balling.
Wait, hold the line. I'm gonna go put on my Speedos. I'll be right back.
Wait a minute now. We was doing good. We don't want the money to drop, okay?
Hey, is this a rubber band and a peanut shell?
And that's why we don't want you to do that, okay? The fact that it's only a peanut shell. Y'all seen peanut shells, right? We ain't talking about no coconut shells. We talking about peanut shells. And Honeydew says, I responded, I didn't see Lil Nas latest buffoonery, but I'm gonna need some explaining for the last video. What artistry? I'm not getting into that. Y'all want me to be canceled off of YouTube? I'm gonna have to just hold my mouth. But yeah, I think he's definitely doing it for attention, you know. And somebody else said it too, which I totally agree with. I'm gonna try to say this without getting in trouble. You saw his video, it glamorizes prison. You know, somebody made a good point, like he's making it seem like it's just camp, like, oh, we're in prison and we're having fun. We're all just dancing and singing. Anybody who's heard or if you watched the movie Penitentiary, which has scared the hell out of me as a child, you know, or even knowing somebody who's gone to prison, you know damn well they ain't singing and skipping along and dancing in there in this big giant party, you know, so it does make a mockery out of what actually goes on in prison, you know, I don't know. But then they say he's using the money to raise awareness, to get rid of the bail system, the cash bail system or something like that, so I don't know. Thunder says, even Roland is complaining, asking where are the allies of the Democratic Party to help with the voting, and he needs to shut his cell phone up because he did the most, like his tap shoes got some holes in it from all that tap dancing he was doing for the Democratic Party. He needs to go on and be quiet because he helped those older voters who follow him and everybody else go ahead and check mark for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, even though they didn't promise us anything. So he needs to be quiet. And the Pioneer says the same people who support Trump are usually the same people who support Joe Rogan. Both are racists who believe white men are now the victims in the society. Check it out, his political comments. Yeah. So Joe Rogan did say that he believes that white men are victims and are at risk or something like that. I'm like, come on, Joe Rogan. They paid you. I think it's Sirius or Spotify, $100 million contract. I think you're going to be all right as a very white man. Now, I like Joe Rogan on Fear Factor. That was my show. I watch Fear Factor every Friday. That was my show.
You mean Gross Factor? I don't know why they call it Fear Factor. Gross Factor.
I loved it. But, you know, I listen to Joe Rogan every once in a while. I mean, you know, you listen to what you like and then you just go ahead with what you don't like. You know what I mean? This is, I don't know. And then, you know, I don't know if Joe Rogan is a white supremacist. I think he's just like being his true self. White people, you know, always playing a victim, and you know, it's a false idea of superiority, I guess. Yeah, supremacy to some degree. But when I say white supremacist, I don't know how much he goes out of his way to oppress black people, but they all think they're supreme, right? And Sharon says they are all the same. And Marty says, I like the dress, Donovan, as my personal birthday cake. Oh, don't blush, sing happy birthday to me under the pale moonlight, Donovan. Wine is on me. Do you want Dom Perignon? Well, shit. What that, ladies, I don't know. Moni driving a hard bargain in this comment section, boy. Y'all better step y'all game up if y'all want Donovan, because I'm about to sell him off. Or it sounds like he might get taken from me. Piper Black says that Moni's sister Demetria is worth 99 billion or more. Love me some Carmel sister. Aw, that's so sweet. Honeydew says her husband Al better get in here quick. Al is watching. He's not my husband, by the way, but he's watching basketball. He ain't paying me no mind at all. And Antoine, how you doing? He says, hello, Queen K, panel and room. How you doing? LaMarcus, what's going on with you? And Morning says, fight for Black. Demetria is awesome, beautiful, well, and okay, now y'all gonna make me blush. Well educated is great. I like seeing a commentator like her that has a lot of diversity and knows a lot of different things and is open-minded. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Y'all gonna make me blush. And you also say, what is going to happen to Donovan is that when God gets tired of a thing, he will destroy it. Right here in Michigan, we've been having a series of ongoing floods, and we had a flood just yesterday. It says something destroyed. Donovan, aren't y'all getting ready to have a flash flood?
Yeah, in Phoenix and in my county here, because we're in the desert, the flash flood warnings went into effect. It's raining in Phoenix right now, so they're most likely going to get it before we do, because it isn't raining here. But we get occasional flash floods here in Riverside and San Bernardino counties.
Crazy. How you doing, Smoketown for Life? He says fried chicken is delicious. Yes, it is. And Morning says it destroyed many homes, mostly in white communities. The same areas they didn't want blacks in the area is now being flooded by the mounds. Continues a few in Detroit, but not many at the suburb. Yeah, well, Farrakhan told us to watch the weather. So you're going to see the weather doing some strange things. And boy, we have been seeing the weather do some strange things for a couple of years now, where it's just like, what? Snowing in Texas? A Texas freeze?
Yeah, but have you guys ever noticed that, like in the Midwest where they have the tornadoes, do you guys know every time that when that area gets destroyed, federal money and grants, your tax dollar goes to rebuild it?
You know every now.
Time. And just like where these white people are, where do you think that money is going to go? Immediately, when white people are affected, federal dollars go to help them. But let it be New Orleans or down there in Houston or where the poor black people live. Oh, no, they just gentrify the area. You can't come back. Hey, sorry, here's a couple bucks. Go to the ATM machine and get what you need.
Right. Here, what is it? A FEMA card? A couple extra food stamps? Bro, fam, how you doing? And Frank, what's going on with you? Says Pioneer Joe Rogan hide behind his martial arts. He's a racist. I mean, y'all probably know better than me. I don't really follow Joe Rogan like that. Like I said, I was a big Fear Factor fan. And then he got off into, speaking his mind, per se. And Tawana, how you doing? He says, Little Nas X is copying Madonna. Adam Lambert tried it after American Idol and it didn't work. Controversy doesn't equal longevity in the business. That is very true. But, a lot of people are saying that he's an industry plant, if you will, perhaps, just with the rawness that he is going about doing certain things. So they're thinking, of course, there's this theory that there's a push to effeminize black men. So a lot of people feel like Lil Nas X is being used to do that, to promote it and make it seem okay, if you will. And Sunlight says Kanye and Dame Dash are cut from the same cloth, that they absolutely go against the grain and do not follow the crowd. Yep, that's the way I see it too. And the Pioneer says, I agree with you, sis. Lil Nas X is doing it for attention, but I also think he's being paid by, so to read your comment, by racists in the industry to push an agenda on the Black youth and influence their behavior. And that's what a lot of people are saying. So I should have read that. And let's see, Sunlight says, we're at the that point already. A few messed it up for a lot of women. It sucks. A lot of women appreciate compliments. Yeah. I mean, like I said, women get dressed up. We mostly get dressed up for other women because they say, you know, women always gonna size you up. Look at her dress, look at her hair, look at her nails, look at her shoes. But we definitely want men to look. I mean, come on, we're human, right? But like you said, it's gonna get to a point where men are gonna be like, I'm not looking to the left or the right. And the Pioneer, no. Let's see. Let me get to it. And Crimson Vermilion, how you doing? He says, everybody click like for the peanut shell. Yes, y'all want to see the peanut shell? Hit the like button. It'll probably be my last day on YouTube, but it'd be worth it, right? And then y'all may never speak to me again because y'all gonna be like, I could have had a V8. Oh, all right. Okay, let me get back to it. Leather Luxury Car said, no, not the peanut shell. Hey, he said the peanut shell. I'm just going with it. I'm just, why you put Crimson, put peanut shells in the chat?
Hey, wait. What do I always say, though? You keep expectations low. You keep them low.
But damn, how low? How low what must they go, Donovan? Damn. Robert says Little Nas is trolling Black people. He's doing too much. I tend to agree with it. My daughter's probably in her room mad because she doesn't think that he is. She thinks that's just who he is as an artist. He might be that, but it's like, come on now. He pouring it on extra thick. I'm just saying. And even Madonna was, she was controversial for that time when she was, like a virgin, and people were like, oh my God, they lost their minds.
Oh my God, she kissed a Black man.
Yeah, just like a prayer. Yeah, with Leon. Ooh, such a fine specimen. Yeah, people thought, Madonna was, she needs to be canceled. That's, blasphemy. And now you look back at her stuff, you're like, oh, that was Sesame Street. And let's see here. Yamada says the fact that they underestimated, he says, I vote. This is why I will not be voting for none of them. Most of them here in Michigan won't even speak to you after they have done begging you for your vote. Black senator. Oh yeah, that's what they do. You get your little, what is it? Your prime rib sandwich, your turkey.
Right. Or some of you guys could get those white envelopes for walking the precincts and whatever, and you do the work, and then guess what? I don't need you until 2 years later.
Right. It's like, remember when I helped you on your campaign? No. Beat it. And Kurt, how you doing? You say, what's up? What's going on with you? And Sunlight says, Joe Rogan called his mixed daughter an 8. Really? See, y'all be putting me on game, and I didn't even know he had a mixed daughter. What's really going on? Now, I've also heard him say some pretty bad things about white women too. Like, he doesn't seem like he likes the Kardashians at all. But I didn't know he had a mixed daughter. Do tell. And if he did call her that, yeah,
Now you got to remember, mixed daughter doesn't necessarily mean Black.
True. But might she have gotten her looks from him because he looked like that to me? I mean, I don't know. I'm not being funny. He really do, look like he got a very hairy chest and back. Not that I've seen it. And Moni says, I've gotten so with the majority of the music that is out, I don't even keep up with it because it's just like them. They went too far in the demonic lane, and I'm not interested. People can do what they like. Yeah, a lot of the music nowadays, it's just like, why?
It sucks. There's no love. There's no R&B. The R&B is barely hanging on now. Remember in the 90s, you had all those groups, R&B groups. I mean, you could just, tons of them, female groups, male groups.
Yeah, I got it. But Donovan has heard my playlist of slow jams when we was in Costa Rica. He was like, "You don't know nothing about that." I was like, "No, you don't know nothing about that. It's on my phone. Obviously, I know." But it was all older stuff. I'm like, yeah, a lot of this stuff, it's just a one trick.
Wait. She said older stuff, right? We were listening to stuff like Swing Low, Shoot Very Hard.
No.
Howdy, hey.
The Pioneer says, since you're right about Joe Rogan, he's just being himself, which is a racist. Laugh out loud. Y'all put me up on game. Like I said, I don't really follow Joe Rogan at all. I mean, I listened to the interview he had with Kanye. Nicole, how you doing? He says, I'm just happy I got a live. Hello team. We are happy you're here as well. And Frank says, Pioneer, what's the deal? And Samuel, how you doing? Brother Samuel, I should say. He says, I'm visiting Phoenix. What's in Phoenix? What's going on in Phoenix? And Frank says it's supposed to rain tomorrow. And where are you, Frank? Are you in Texas or where are you at in the country? And Leather and Luxury Car says, I drove in those floods yesterday. It was a mess. See, out here in Houston, it's dry now. I think it's dry. Yeah, it's dry. The sun is out. You know, super hot. But yeah, we've been going through it.
In Louisiana, my mom said it was raining this morning. Then it let up. So
yeah, it's a lot. And Frank says Donovan ain't lying. And he also says Sunlight. He got a mixed daughter. Yeah, do tell. I didn't know that. I didn't even know he had any kids at all. And Martin says, so I celebrate my birthday a month because it's a blessing. Tomorrow ain't promised to none of us, Demetra and Donovan. And remember, we can put the information out, but only so many people will seek knowledge. Yes, indeed. That's what I always say. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But you can give the people knowledge, and you cannot make them think. You know, it's on them. So Pioneer says, see what I mean, sis? I just mentioned the men flirting with you like the women with Donovan. All of a sudden, your man's name is mentioned and talk of him sitting back, watching the show, laugh out loud. He ain't watching. Frank says, Nas co-signed this fool. Well, you know what? I want to say this about Nasir Jones. I want to defend him in that I don't think Nas knew that, because you know Nas did a remix with him. Remember when the little Nas was doing the old whatever the damn song is that went crazy with Billy Ray Cyrus? I just don't think Nas knew that a lot of people didn't know, unless the record is X's, they probably knew, but that Lil Nas X was gonna do what he's doing, because a lot of people said they feel hoodwinked. Like, you know, the song was kid friendly. He was going to the elementary schools, Old Town Road, and all of that, and then all of a sudden, like, bam, he pops his bussy everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I said bussy with a B, not the P. And a lot of people just felt duped, like, damn, wait a minute. Now my kids love you. I can't really have them watching you, you know, freak a leak on the devil now, you know, so interesting. Let's see here. And Frank said, oh, no. So, yeah, I don't think Nas knew that he was going to be doing all of that, right? And Leather and Luxury Car says, so tired of people crying over gay people and making us to blame, making us to be some underworld hell beast. It's really hard on the spirit. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm straight. I worry about my straight business. I don't care what other people do in their bedroom. But when you bring your bedroom to videos, it's kind of like, well, you kind of forced us to talk about it, right? And Thunder, you say, the fact that they are throwing all these distractions our way to change the subject, we must be doing something right. Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, like I said, on Facebook, and I hear about the shadow ban and all of that and these conspiracies, but they restricted me only from going live. Out of all the stuff I do on Facebook, I only got restricted from going live. Right?
Yeah, and you got to remember, too, you guys, the new black media has basically exposed a lot of the stuff that, you know, that the Democratic Party is so used to going to get votes. And we're just calling people out and stuff. And so they have no other means, because there's so many of us. It ain't like we're like centralized under the CNN banner and all this other stuff. Because look at what's going on right now. Look at how many of these black women are selling their souls just to get a job. I mean, you got the Tiffany Crosses and the Joy Reids and all these other people that don't give a damn about black people. The CBC, all the black women in the CBC, we're the backbone of the Democratic Party. So you mean to tell me you're the backbone of the Democratic Party? See, and we're trying to make people critically think, but you won't do anything for your children and your children's children, but you'll do for these people and that people. And we're making people we're pointing out the inconsistencies in what they're saying. You have all the votes you need. How many of you guys saw the video of the young man questioning Joe Clyburn at that town hall meeting? And Joe Clyburn was, I really don't know. Next question. You know what I mean? And it's like they've never experienced anything like that. And that's why when Roland Martin came down and to the new black media format of YouTube, he's talking about we don't know what we talking about, and y'all got to get on thing, and it's just crazy. But this is how they do to try to shut us up, basically. And unfortunately, there's too many of us on different platforms. Demetra's platform's a little bit different than my platform, and so on, so forth. So it's going to be hard to track all of us down when we are all now group thinking and giving difference of opinion.
Absolutely. And Frank says, for other women, not for men. That's what I be saying. And the morning says, Donovan, I see you popping in and popping out in the comment section. My offer still stands at $1,099. What's up? Morning, he is all yours.
You have to talk to the auctioneer. Look, just like the slaves of back in the day, I'm just up here for display.
With his little peanut thing on.
Hey, true story, you guys. We went to Africa, and Demetra's great nephew, he wanted to make sure we bring him a what?
A loincloth, a leaf for him so he can have a loincloth. But yeah, so that's the running offer right now, $1,099. What y'all got, ladies? What y'all got? Don't let this good thing pass y'all up. Hey, Georgia Rose. And let's see here. And he says, Donovan needs to stop tempting me with those Speedos. I don't know if temptation is the word you're going to be looking for. Pioneer says, Donovan, you can wear what you want, but just make sure the room is warm, hot. Make sure it's smoldering, volcanic, okay? Very warm if you want to rock the Speedos. Laugh out loud. Can't be making the brothers look bad. Know what I mean? I'm telling you what to do. Make sure it's really hot. Just saying. Morning says, really, I think we need to challenge with the Supreme Court when we come to freedom of speech, because YouTube and Facebook, as far as I'm concerned, is starting to do way too much what you say. Really, well, it's a private platform. There's the government has tried to regulate them. But at the end of the day, it's a private business. I mean, that's their rules. What can you do, right? Brother Samuel says, Dr. Wesley pointed out how they wanted to crucify Janet Jackson for a wardrobe malfunction, but Lil Nas X celebrated. Right, now how do we go from that? Them censoring her, CBS and all of them, and yet here Lil Nas X he's doing a lot. And Sunlight says, it's his stepdaughter. Her real dad was the lead singer from H-Town. Dino, what? So I'm sure Joe Rogan hates the thought of that. Okay, so is he still with her mom? Like, how does that work? Interesting. Okay. Yes, Frank, exactly. Brother Samuel is on to something. And Mr. Pirate Ray, how you doing? He says, it's hard to believe that R&B is dead. Well,
it's not dead. It's just hanging on by a string. I mean, when you go to these radio, mainstream radio things, you barely hear any R&B on it unless it's like late night tunes. I'm Levi, the Love Jones show, and we got some Mary J. Blige for you to come down. Remember, what was that guy? He was an Asian guy on 92.3 The Beat. Theo. Oh, the women used to love that dude.
Yes, you know what? Yeah, Theo was. I'm gonna put this out there. I don't care if y'all get mad. Theo was. He was Asian, but he was like Blasian, if that's a thing. He had this. If you guys watch Waiting to Excel, with Whitney Houston and all that. He was the DJ, the voice of the radio, the DJ on the radio when he would be, talking and all of that. That was Theo, and he was this Asian dude, and he's like 6 feet tall, and just the ladies loved him. I met him once, actually, at a club back in the day. Anyway, let me stop. So anyway, Frank says you are in Cali. Okay. So yeah, Cali, y'all going through some things. It's about time. Houston, we're tired of it. And Pioneer says you're right. There was a ton of R&B groups in the 80s and 90s like Jodeci, Boys II Men, and Guy. They purposely pushed them out and promoted gangster rap in order to destroy Black love and promote violence. And that's what I always say. Do yourself a favor and listen to, good R&B music, love songs. I do every day, just to kind of remind us that we are loving people. We are not those people you hear promoted on the radio, pop that thing, bust it open. And that's not who, we that in private, right? But that's not who we are just all day long.
Yeah,
right?
It's sad when you go to a park and the parents are watching the kids play and they're blasting all the language and stuff. I'm looking at these people like, are you serious? You're playing that music in front of the kids. Wow.
Dead serious. And Thunder said the Republican Party is trying to change laws to roll the clock back to the bad old days, and the Dems are now sounding like the right. Let's keep the message the same. No black agenda, no black vote. There you go. That's it. Hold the vote until. Y'all crazy with these damn peanuts. Jeremy, how you doing? He says it's hot here in Huntsville, Texas, as well as I'm trying to pull weeds in my garden while standing in the shade is not working. Yeah, you might want to cut that loose.
Yeah.
And listen, it's never cool here in Texas. Like even at night and early in the morning, it's like 75 degrees. But yeah, I wouldn't be pulling no weeds out there right now.
Well, the thing is, Huntsville, you guys have an electricity problem with all those executions you guys are doing. I mean, that place is, they're just going through them.
Brother Sam, you say my son has an engineering job out here. I have been getting flash flood warnings. I didn't think it rained out here. Yeah, especially in Arizona, right? That's like the driest place in the world.
Yeah, but it does rain. And even in Vegas, they get flash flood warning. And because there's no vegetation, that's why you get flash flooding, right? Because it just goes right through. There's nothing, keeping it together.
Cactuses. Marty says, oops, my comments jumped up. Hopefully I'm not too far. You say... I guess it's okay. I'm open game. Oh, $2,500 for Donovan. He can pick steak or lamb caviar. Got a choice of pink Dom Perignon and extra dry Dom Perignon, or if you like Moet, though it's cheaper. I like more of the finer. Wow, $2,500, ladies. See what happens when you don't put the speedo on? I know what I be talking about, okay? Just work with me here.
Yeah, I'll be the first guy in here to put speedos on and the money decreases.
Right. Ashanti, he say Gen X down, he said on down are not going to give up our votes for nothing. We can't be shamed into supporting people who have a disdain for us. And I'm so glad. And that's what they really fear, right? And Jafia says, Joy Reid definitely does not represent Black America. No, not at all. It's almost like she's
an immigrant. She's an immigrant. She's the first generation.
But she despises Black people, especially when we, say, hey, Joe Biden is the author of, mass incarceration. And she goes in on her little spiel of why we tripping. Robin says, ScrewTube was definitely messing with. He says the Black Authority, is that what it is? Live last night, so the new Black media is definitely being shadow banned and censored. That's why too, and I want to say this to you guys, like a lot of times on the African Diaspora News Channel, you guys will see us say things a certain way. That's why, without giving away too much, right? And on my channel as well. And let's see here. And Hubert, how you doing? Long time no see. He says, finally caught you live. Good evening. Good evening to you as well. And Frank says, Robin, I saw that damn near cut off his live. Oh, wow. And let's see here. Mr. Piebrain says he wanted Tappa Roba like Tonto. I know I jacked that up. That's a what? That's a the Zorro comment. Bonnie says, take like Dearborn, Michigan has been flooding continuously. There was a time we had to protest in the 80s. They didn't even want to send that part. Now it's Arab brand, and it's still being destroyed. God, good. Okay. And Frank says, so he was with a black woman, Joe Rogan. I mean, I guess. I don't know. This is all news to me. Theo, yep. Theo was the name of the DJ in the 90s. Is Smooth.
Yeah, him and DJ Quick used to hang out. So him and Theo.
Yeah, he was smooth. Where is Theo now? He was like the hottest thing since sliced bread. I remember that. And Mona says FEMA gives in Michigan $1,500 up to $5,000 depending on how bad your stuff is destroyed. You get more once it hits the national news like Channel 2, 4, and 7. I'll be glad when God ends evil. Okay.
Yeah, but we also got to remember, Moni, this is what we keep telling people about insurance. White people put insurance on their goods and all their stuff. Black folks, even if you're in an apartment, you should have renter's insurance in case things happen. But we don't do that because it's too much like a bill.
Yeah, but the other part of that too is sometimes insurances don't pay if it's an act of nature. So it's kind of it's a lot of people end up getting screwed, right? It just depends. But yeah, you should always have your stuff insured. You never know, right? And Mr. Piebrain says, yeah, but if no new R&B is coming out, it's dead. It is coming out, but they don't get they're almost like underground now, right?
Yeah. How many of you guys heard that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis came out with a Basic Friends type album where they had people come out? And it's 2 volumes. The first volume dropped, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so it's out there, but like you just said, they don't get radio play because these record companies now have paid. They don't even have disc jockeys anymore. It's a paid list, and they put the song on the list, and it's played every hour on the hour, like Mind Control.
I mean, yeah, they don't want black people to, be in love. Like the Isley Brothers, I think they had something new come out too. I mean, you didn't hear about that like you would have back in the day. They don't want us to think that we are loving people and to show love to each other in a proper way. They want us to, think, with our lower instincts, right? And I used to say, for the record, I miss Donnie Simpson. Video Soul was my favorite. Yes, now that was a classy brother right there too, boy.
Wait, what was their Sherry Carter? I used to like Sherry Carter.
Yes.
Donnie Simpson and Sherry Carter, yep.
Class, just straight up class. You would never heard him, Donnie Simpson, say any of the stuff these people, I couldn't even imagine him wanting to play that kind of stuff.
Who was Donnie Simpson's brother? Quick trivia. Anybody remember who Donnie Simpson's brother?
Oh.
He's a lead singer of a very famous R&B band. They're twin brother. They look like twins.
He kind of looks like the guy on the 5 Heartbeats, the 5 Horsemen.
Like Bird? No. Think about this.
Oh, the one that was trying to take.
Oh yeah. John Canada Terrell from yeah. Think about this, and Johnny Simpson even had him on the show. J.T. Taylor, lead singer of Kool and the Gang.
I could see that.
Yeah, but they weren't brothers, but they called each other brother because they looked alike.
Oh, I could see that. Okay, thank you for that trivia. I love it. And Honeydew says Donovan got a show or shake something for $1,000. Sister Nice to $2,500. He says 1,000 no cold water excuses. Donovan, I can only take you so far.
Okay, Demetria, do you have my sock?
Nah, brother, I left that in Costa Rica with you. Okay, you're gonna have to meet us halfway, brother. I can only do so much. Okay, you're gonna have to prove me not to be a liar on here.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get my El Saco.
What can a sock do for anybody?
It's just that aesthetics for the look. It's for the look.
You're gonna have to do more than look good, brother. You're gonna have to do more than look good. Yes, and I miss Black BET too, like the real BET, right? Frank says, thunder, those parties and those party systems is for white people. Yes, indeed. And Ashanti says, Clymore's answer to the young man was, quote, look at me and look at my daughter. And people started clapping. I was thinking to myself, straight nonsense. Yeah.
Right. Ashanti, because the question was, what's the holdup? You've got the votes. Nancy Pelosi could bring these votes to the floor anytime. What does his daughter, the color of his daughter, have to do with the initial questions he was asking in regards to a black agenda, right? So that goes to show you how they bait and switch and they try to turn the attention to something else.
Just because, yes, yeah. All else fails, tap dance. And Mr. Piper says, I love listening to 70s, 80s, and 90s R&B. Me too. 60s too. And hell 50s.
Ain't nobody come to see you, Demetra.
And Eric, you say, Addy, I didn't know you talk like that. I ain't talking like nothing. I'm commenting on what I'm hearing. Listen, I'm a lady. But you know what, though? There's a sidebar here. And that's how it's supposed to be. Ladies are supposed to talk like that, whatever that was. I don't know if I said anything too bad, but you ain't supposed to talk like that in mixed company. In the company of people, you're supposed to be a lady. Nowadays, you be in Walmart and you hear, suck my. And it's a lady talking like that. It's like, wow, Frank says, playing Megan Thee Stallion, white. He said, they kids in the car shaking my head, or Wilder kids in the car. Yeah. I tell my daughter all the time, I said, girl, when I was like 15, 14, we was listening to Anita Baker. Y'all could never.
Chapter 8,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They don't know about that.
Some function, you go down the line.
They don't know nothing about that. And let's see, the Pioneer says, Frank, of course, Joe is also an Italian, and many of them love black women while at the same time hate black men. The cop who stuck that plunger up Louima was married to a black woman. See, tell me something I didn't know. I didn't know that, and I covered the story. Are you kidding me? Wow. Yeah, but you know what, though? Italian men do love black women. Robert De Niro, who's the other? Like all of them have black wives, and like they love sisters. Love sisters. And let's see here. Sean, how are you doing? And let's see here. All my comments skipped up again. Okay, and then Moni says, it's only some women, Demetri. Let's be honest, it's not all of us. I love compliments, but it's those that are from that feminist aspect, which comes out of the Caucasian world who hate men mostly, truth be told. Donovan and I keep saying we're going to get us some No Ma'am shirts. Y'all remember Al Bundy from Married with Children? He had the organization, the No Ma'am organization. And, they were down with the feminists. We want some of those shirts. And let's see here. I'm not going to read the replies to each other. And Robin says, as long as Clyburn and his daughter is doing well, he don't care about the rest of the black community. He have to be voted out. Yes, indeed. I mean, he's like almost 80.
Yeah, and it's not just Clyburn. You look at most of the Congressional Black Caucus members, their families are doing right. They funnel money to their family. What does Joe Clyburn's daughter know about political PR? But yet she's a consultant. No, that's an excuse to run money into her platform. Same thing with Maxine Waters' daughter. So, they don't care. They're taken care of. They don't care.
Nepotism. And Anais says, I love Speedos. Donovan, you're going to have to get Speedos. Jeremy says, I'm behind in the comments, but they use lethal injection down here in Texas. Okay. So
as long as they're not botched. No, did you hear about that Texas where they ran out of whatever they were supposed to have to lethal inject them, and they tried to use a lower variant? It went all the way to the Supreme Court, because whatever the other thing that they substituted with, it was like really bad or something. And Texas was like, the hell with that. Let's just go ahead and use it anyway. The guy survived, thank God, but it was just, woo.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand that even though you're putting somebody to death via the death penalty, it does have to be as, it's just gonna sound weird, humane as possible, because they can also cite cruel and unusual punishment if they try to put somebody to death, and like Donovan said, they use some generic form of whatever they're supposed to be using, or if they flip the switch, or on an electric chair and it doesn't work the first time, it's considered to be cruel and unusual because it's supposed to work the first time, and now you're just torturing the person because you don't know what you're doing, whatever,
there was a story of a guy, and I'm sure you guys that are from there. Huntsville is that's where Texas do all their executions, where the guy got so fat that they couldn't execute him, because he was like, nah, y'all ain't gonna do me. So he just ate himself into a condition.
Yeah. Crimson, you crazy. That the peanuts and the coins, okay. And somebody says Joe Rogan is married to a white woman who had a child with Dino from H-Town. Okay, now we getting to the bottom of it. I hope he don't despise his daughter, or stepdaughter. Hey, Nicole, how you doing? He says, guilty. I learned insurance is important. Yes, indeed. It's like you never know you need insurance until you actually need it, right? But it's better to have it. And Pioneer, Frank says Pioneer, they mad because they have Moorish blood. And let's see here, Frank.
Real quick, Frank, I was downtown, and this guy was getting hemmed up by the police, and he kept bringing up Moorish law and all this other stuff. The cops beat that Negro unmercifully. And I'm looking at the guy like, dude, nobody gives a damn. Okay, I'm not downing people who are into that stuff. That's almost like saying, well, I'm an Iraqi citizen, so American law here doesn't mean anything to me. You're in another country. Stop quoting that.
I have a better example. When Donovan and my daughter were on our way to Africa, Donovan was trying to film on the plane. I was Emirates, I think it was, the airline. And, Donovan's happy. He's a tourist. We're in LAX still, and he's filming the plane, and the airline stewardess came by and says, you can't do that. And Donovan was like, well, I'm in America, and this is, we're still American soil. And she was like, and I'm paraphrasing, look, nigga, if you want to fly your black ass to South Africa, you're going to put your phone away or your camera. This plane belongs to, where is it? Abu Dhabi, because that's where we're going. Yeah, it belongs to Abu Dhabi. So,
well, it belonged to a company in Abu Dhabi, but I would have won for the simple fact that any airline that comes into the United States is subjugated to the NTSB and the United States regulation of aviation and civil aviation law. So I knew that, but I didn't want to make a case where we get removed from the plane.
Right, brother, because you took the words right out of my mouth. You would have been right, but your ass wouldn't have been on that plane either. Okay, you would have been right on the ground.
Wait, is that the part where you and Deanna kind of moved to like the front of the plane away from me?
I told my daughter, I said, get your bag. I said, don't get comfortable because I don't think we're staying. We about to get kicked off the plane. Oh, let's see. Frank says they pay the radio to play certain things. They call that payola, right? It's like a
exactly.
gangster type of thing, a mobster. Big Cannon, how you doing? It says, hello, everyone. The only way I can get to hear new, fresh music, I have to subscribe to Sirius XM satellite.
Yeah. And there's a thing on YouTube. Well, what's that? It's on the internet where the sound scan or whatever, where like artists that try to put out there, they put like a sample of their music out there and you can listen to it for free. And,
All right, Mr. Pirate Brain says, I get in some proper loving with the Quiet Storm. Okay, what station is that? I'm just kidding. And Frank says, and Rachel is from the Caribbean Rhythms. Yes. And Tawani says, JT Taylor. Yes, indeed. Let me get caught up on these comments. He says, Ashanti says, Ashford. I can see that. Donnie Simpson, maybe. R.I.P. And the Pioneer says, this is how slick the racist industry is. They trick black men to stop doing the smooth R&B and go gangster. Then they slide Justin Timberlake and other white men on singing our music to sound sexy. Yeah, you hear the kind of music they give their people, right?
Right.
When last time you heard Justin Timberlake talking about bend it over so I can, whatever they talking about.
Yeah, Robin Thicke, the Robin Thicks and all these guys.
I mean, Robin Thicke, he toes the line, but it ain't disgusting like some of Chris Brown's R&B or any of those. It ain't like that at all.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys this. There's one white R&B singer that you should be voting for. His name is Rick Astley, because he'll never give you up. He never let you down. Run around and hurt you. That's the only guy you should be voting for.
Right. But didn't Joe Biden say that too? Something like that. I stand by you. I'm just saying. Jafai says Donnie Simpson does have a twin brother named Lonnie. Okay, see? All this knowledge we get.
Well, there's the triplets, because JT could fall right in that line. Wait, another quick trivia. Who is JT married to? And she was a former, well, she still kind of sings, but she was in a group, and she was a former singer, and it was a very popular group back in the day. She was in several groups, and JT married her. Taylor married her. They have a child together. They're on YouTube and stuff. They've been married for over 25 years now.
Oh, you're going to have to tell us that, brother, because we just ain't going to. Well, let's see if somebody will guess it. See if somebody will guess it. All right. Okay. And yes, Mr. Piebrain. So he says, so Demetri is promoting Donovan's OnlyFans page. I could probably do a good job managing it, as long as he doesn't wear that Speedo. We'll be all right. Pioneer says,
ladies, I need some content. So no, never mind.
Pioneer says, women all over the world were falling in love with the wide range of Black men's vocals. I knew a lot of people of all races who said they were conceived while their parents were playing Motown. Yeah, I might have been one of them, And Brother Samuel says, I ran into Donnie Simpson on the Capitol steps at the 10-10-15 Justice or Else rally in Washington, D.C. See? Down with the cause. That's why we got to love Brother Donnie even more. And Ashanti says 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, R&B, 100. Yes, indeed. Especially Sunday night oldies. I love it. Mr. Piper said Confunction loves Train. Yes, indeed. Yes.
What was one of the main artists that came out of Confunction? That we'll see if you guys can get that too.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. What was it? Then name me the artist that out of that group.
I know who it is, but I'll let them. I won't give it all away. But come on, man, really? Wasn't we talking about that song in Costa Rica about how it just the pain in his voice? Like, damn, I want to come see you. She like, baby, I would love to, but shoot, it's just that somebody else is here. Maybe if you stop being an F boy, you won't have to worry about that. And I used to say, I still listen to Phyllis Hyman. She had a soulful songs. She's my favorite. Yes.
Oh yeah. A beautiful woman. God.
Yeah. It took her own life, so they say. One of my favorite songs.
What was the name of the play that really made Phyllis Hyman very, very popular?
Was it Dreamgirls?
Sophisticated Ladies.
That's actually what I meant to say. But one of my favorite songs by her is B1. It was on the School Days soundtrack. Oh my God.
And she had a cameo in School Days.
Yes, right? She was singing B1, yes. Okay, so let's see here. And you also say men are needed. Yes, indeed. And Hubert, he says, Good Love CD, Stone Love Soul, The Quiet Storm. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. And Eli says, I am back. Yay. And NIU says, Black fathers are important. I love my father, Tyrone Jones. Yes, indeed. I love my daddy too. My daddy, boy, I tell you. And he loves me, and that I do know. And the Pioneer says, not just the music. Black men used to be the best dressers with the jewelry, matching hookups. Says the racists in the industry tricked them into sagging, wearing big T-shirts, and just dressing sloppy. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, because remember in the 90s, we used to dress up, man. I mean, people had, we had our slacks, and we had a nice little shirt and all that other, and we were dancing around and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and the men, R&B groups and all that, they, were matching, and it was just like Motown. Anybody, you guys, of course, I'm be preaching to choir, but they had charm school and grooming school. Like they had to be a class act in every way, shape, and form. But now that they say go out there, put a bunch of tattoos on your face and sag your pants and you mumble. There you go. We'll pay you lots of money. Dark matter, how you doing? If I didn't say how you doing already, say what's referred to as R&B. We as a people referred it as soul music funk. Who renamed it, co-opted our culture as usual. What the F is R&B? Yeah.
Well, it depends on the genre. Like to me, when I think of funk and stuff, I think of Rick James,
George Clinton,
Funkenstein, well, what's his name? Bootsy Collins, that kind of stuff. And then when I think of R&B, I think of Marvin Gaye. I think of, guys like that were kind of like, they were just singers. Yeah, Luther Vandross, R&B. It was more smooth. There wasn't no really hard edge to it. It was more of a smooth, loving. The lyrics are about love and being together. And OJ's, that was R&B. Teddy Pendergrass, that was R&B. The Philly sound, that was a little bit R&B.
And then to be more technical, rhythm and blues, right? And Pioneer says, look at the brothers over 70 and how they dress, even how they are made. Most of them are slim and still like to dress in button downs, dress pants, and leather shoes. We were smooth. Yes, indeed. Couldn't tell brothers nothing. And they smell good too. My dad, he likes Aramis. I'm like, what man is still running around here wearing Aramis? My daddy. I think they make Aramis just for my daddy. Like, seriously. And Marty says, so when I say I like older music, I like Etta James, Phyllis Hyman, Sarah Vaughan, Lena Horne, Sade, Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Bird, Parker, Billie Holiday, Earth, Wind & Fire, and all of Motown without sex in videos. Yes, I like all of those people too. Thunder says, let's focus on us and our empowerment. Let's keep the momentum going. You better believe it. And the Pioneer says, yes, sis, the cop who shoved that plunger up Louima was an Italian named Justin Volk and had a black wife. See, I knew about him, but I didn't know his wife was black. Are they still together? Are they still together? And Marty says, oops. He say, my comment, when I say oops, that's because my comments be jumping up. You said, I can say the same music industry has been corrupt by a certain class of people that want to destroy our image, and they're making it so men come in as men, but they leave feminine, taking their masculinity. It's a good point. And Frank says, Rick Ashley sound black. A lot of them British R&B cats pay homage to black R&B and soul singers. And they do it right. When I say they do it right, they're doing it like they used to do it, right? And then a lot of times black people get mad at them. Are they stealing our music? It's like, are they stealing our music, or are they doing it the way it's supposed to be done? And our artists are venturing off into nasty land. They want to be Mr. Nasty. And so they're doing it right. Like, people try to go after Bruno Mars, which Bruno Mars does have some black in his lineage. But even still, because I'm one of those people, I like music from everywhere. I don't get caught up on, I got to only listen to black people, or only black people could do black music. If it's good, it's good. But people try to give Bruno Mars a hard time. It's like, man, that man is making some great ass music, and we run around talking about he ain't black or he ain't black enough. It's like, shut up and listen.
Yeah, right? These are the same Negroes that have the Marshall Mathers LP in their sound, in their sound clips and stuff. It's just crazy.
Talking about he the greatest rapper alive. And Pioneer says, I think this is the first generation I can remember where most black youth would rather listen to music 20 years older than them instead of contemporary crap they're pushing on them today. My daughter's one of them. My daughter can recite a lot of the old stuff word for word. I think she's the only person I know that can recite Tina Marie's Square Biz from beginning to end. All the fast parts and everything. I just know Square Biz, the chorus, but she know all of that, right? Lorna says, so you have to be really careful of the type of music you listen to, because nowadays it's too demonic. Let's declare, I don't care for a little Nas. I think he's playing devil. He really believe it. Yeah, he's different for sure.
Yeah, but I'm like Demetra though. You guys will not believe this, but I really like 80s music. I mean, I listen to some Aerosmith. I'll listen to some ABC. I'll listen to a lot of the Human League. I still love the Human League. I mean, that was my group.
Yeah.
Thompson Twins. I mean, I can name them all. I mean, I just love that. If it's good music, I'll listen to it. Even if it's country. I mean, I'll listen to it.
Same here. And Nicole says, I had a funny look to everyone know who Jay-Z's wife is.
Yeah, isn't that Superhead?
Are you mean Jay-Z or Jay-Z or JT? Because we know Jay-Z is married to Beyonce, right? At least last time I checked. And
Anise got it. Starlena Young was JT's wife. But what group was Starlena in? Does anybody know?
Right, because that name ain't ringing a bell for me.
You should know. She used to be in Slave.
Okay.
As a singer in Slave, and then that group broke off. Then she was in a group called Aura. Are you single?
Oh,
I really want. And then that group broke off, became Deja. Got to be together. You and me tonight. You don't know how to miss my loving.
Okay, come on with the catalog. Come on.
Then she went solo once the Deja and her and Curtis Jones broke up, and they went their separate ways. And then she met JT, and he produced her first album.
We're gonna get Donovan a show called digging in the catalog.
Digging in the crates. We call it digging in the crates.
Digging in the crates with Donovan Surik. Yeah, okay. And then
Anais got it right. She was part of Slave. Exactly.
I'm seeing sophisticated ladies. Phyllis Hyman, yes indeed. And Moni, you say, see Dimitri, if you came to Michigan, you got a variety of different types of weather, and you can pick any parts you like. You don't have to over hot continuous, but we do have our share. Yeah, the snow would mess me up. I think I don't mind it to be cold, but walking in snow and all of that. I need to be somewhere where the weather is the same all the time, like San Diego or San Francisco. Somewhere like that.
Or the Seychelles.
Seychelles was cool. Yes, Crimson Vermilion says Nina Simone. Yes, I love Nina Simone. She was fearless. She did not give a damn. Okay. And you guys should watch this documentary. It's called Summer of Soul. It's really good. I think it's on Netflix, maybe, or Amazon. One of those. Summer of Soul. It was supposed to be like the Black Woodstock, but it got overshadowed by Woodstock because it happened in the same year. Because Woodstock was primarily white. It had some black artists, but and Sunlight says, yes, I was just about to mention School Days, one of my favorite movies. I had on my Mission College t-shirt yesterday. And some lady said, where did you get that from? I said, I ordered it. And Aisha says, like the stylistic. Yeah. She said the Delphonics, Blue Magic. Listen, I saw the stylistics a couple years back, like 2014 with my mother. And I was like, oh, I'm about to throw my Spanx on the damn stage. He was because the original singer is still with the group. Now everybody's kind of come and gone. But when I tell you he sound like he did in the 70s, I was like, oh my God. Wow.
Quick trivia, because I think Anais niece has the same intellectual level when it comes to music. The Dells. How does everybody know the Dells? The story of the Dells. People say they never heard of the story of the Dells. That is what the 5 Heartbeats is based on. The Dells, and they sang the lead song off of the soundtrack, "A Heart Is a House."
Correct. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, that I did know. And the Pioneer says the conspiracy to destroy black music was international. Look at the reggae of the 60s and the reggae now. Bob Marley and others were singing, but now they're just barking and growling and calling it reggae. And y'all know that it said that the FBI,
COINTELPRO, Bob Marley was on the list.
They got rid of Bob Marley. So in case you didn't, I'm sure y'all knew that though. Ms. Piper says Donnie Simpson did the Quiet Storm at Howard University on WHUR. I like the song Phyllis Hyman did with Pharoah Sanders called As You Are. Yeah, she was a class act. I mean,
do you want to hear a good song with Phyllis Hyman? And I still play it to this very day. Her and Grover Washington Jr. Sacred Love. It's on Grover Washington Jr. Album Next Exit. If you guys get a chance to listen to that, I mean, and you can see it on YouTube. They did it at the Apollo. You guys got to remember, Phyllis Hyman was a tall woman. She was, just as tall as Grover Washington Jr.
Oh, yeah.
And they were grooving on the Apollo. So if you get a chance, check that out. Sacred love.
Yep, beautiful woman. And I'm just going to go to some of these other comments that I haven't seen or that hasn't been read a lot. Dark Matter says the culture bandits, co-ops, opters, usurpers have always hijacked, plagiarized our talents, resources, etc. for their enrichment, and our operation, quote unquote, take back is in order. Yes, indeed. And Sunlight says that Donovan, the trivia on good music from back in the day is refreshing grown folks stuff. Yes, indeed. Donovan is I'm telling you, he wears many hats. And Mr. Pirate Brain says, float on by the floaters. Yes, indeed. And NIE says the 90s to the 2000 groups like Profile, Ideal, and Silk. Yes, man. Now, there was a lot of kids made off of that. Their music, okay? And the shot says Rick James also did R&B. For real, for real. All that talking he would be doing on the album. Jafia says they want to kill R&B, then reintroduce it in about 5 years. But he said by that time, most of the R&B singers will be white. Yeah, you ain't lying. And Dark Matter says I'm 65. I've never heard of R&B back in the 60s, etc. Till that culture bandit renamed it for us. All right, yeah. Well, I mean, thanks for the trivia.
Yeah. Yeah, R&B really didn't become a staple until like in the 70s, when, things were kind of changing and they kind of, basically what happened was this. How many of you guys know the true number one $1 million seller in the Black community? This is when they kind of started categorizing R&B and the different thing. It was the first true $1 million seller.
You talking about as far as music?
As far as music in the Black community.
Blues?
Anything. Name me the first actual million seller. Because remember, back in the day, if you sold 500,000 copies, that was considered platinum. Then they had to change the whole thing because this other artist came out and he sold 1 million, and they didn't know how to categorize him.
In the Black community? So you're talking about the artist?
Yeah, the artist. Doom, 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 doom. Put it in, take it out. Mm-hmm.
Disco Lady.
Disco Lady was the first actual $1 million seller. Johnny Taylor. I
said blues, didn't I?
Blues, yeah, you were close. Johnny Taylor. That was the actual first $1 million seller.
I could see that. I could see my grandma talking about, ooh, Johnny Taylor.
They had to revamp the whole way they say what platinum is, what gold is, and so on and so forth.
All right, now look at you. I'm gonna start calling you Donnie Simpson. And Sunlight says yes, buttons down and slacks or jeans with a crisp crease. Nothing worse than men over 30 in ball caps and Foot Locker gear when they step out. Okay, talking about we going out to a nice dinner.
Sunlight, I'm glad you brought that up because when we were in Costa Rica, didn't I mention that? Where you see these sisters, y'all be all dressed up, good looking and everything. And then you look at the guy that you're with and it's like, he's not dressed up. He's got a wife beater on and
shit.
And they think they got something. The sisters, it's like it takes away from what you're wearing.
I mean, I don't mind you wearing jeans, but at least put on some dress shoes with a dress
shirt. Right.
Yes, come on, man.
Wait. How many of you guys remember, Dimitri, and you remember this? If you're going out with your man, whatever, what are you gonna wear? Okay, blue top. Okay, yeah, I got the blue. We would coordinate what we're going out together with. Nobody does that anymore.
Those were the days. Now we don't even go out anymore. Moni says, the one thing I enjoy about African Diaspora Show is that it brings a better perspective and make you think only a person that's a standard UTC couldn't think like a Candace Owens. Can you, forgive me, but what's a UTC? I think I've asked you that before and maybe you told me, but my mind sometimes drifts. And Honeybee says, I laugh out loud. Sunlight was super tight and ill-fitting jeans, draws out, shaking my head. Now, I do not want to see that. Defy says, sorry, sis, but Bruno Mars is a culture vulture. Uh-oh, now. Watch out now. He says, the reason people like Bruno, Cardi, and DJ Khaled feel comfortable is because we continue to invite people like them to the barbecue. All right, let me ask you this, Jafia. Now, is he a culture vulture if he is giving homage and giving credit to where the music is from? Because I don't too much hear I mean, I don't listen to Cardi B or DJ Khaled like that, but he's said a million times where he draws his inspiration and that it comes from us. Two, Bruno Mars has been performing since he's probably like 4, because he was like Elvis type of thing, an Elvis type performer, I think in Hawaii or something like that, Elvis impersonator. So he's been performing a long time, but he's made it no secret that, where the music comes from. Yeah, I've never heard him say this is an original thought, if you will, including Bootsy Collins is the one that put him and Anderson .Paak together and named them what is it, Silk Sonic. He's the one that named them that. So if they got the blessings from Bootsy Collins, and Anderson .Paak is Asian and black, but I would think that might be okay. I don't know. Y'all tell me. And Sunlight says exactly, Eminem is not a GOAT, shouldn't even be in picture with Pac or Big. Well, a lot of black people say he is one of the best rapper ever. And Frank says those groups sound black. And Moni says Philip yesterday had a show speaking about witchcraft in terms of makeup, and I was really offended, Demetri, that some people in the comments brought up you and Wangel as wear makeup, which is senseless. Oh, I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to go check it out. I mean, listen. I just think, like, for me, I don't wear makeup all the time. I got some on now, but I don't got a lot on. I get on here, be all washed out and stuff, but I do wear red lipstick. I wear red nail polish. I'm gonna wear me some makeup, okay? Especially when you get up in age a little bit, you want to enhance yourself because you be looking kind of horrid sometimes, right? One of these days, I'm gonna come on this show with my hair sticking up and no makeup on. Y'all gonna be like, ew. Is everything okay, sister? And Donovan has seen me. We was in Costa Rica, and he was like,
especially when she ain't got her coffee.
He's like, I'm scared. But I ain't got a lie to kick it though. I'm gonna keep it real. Let's see here. Brother Samuel says Dr. Wesley also talked about the neuroscience of music that who can slink the listener's mind, slink into the listener's mind into the ideal hypnotic state called theta state, getting our minds to sync, then giving message commands. Yeah. And also, for those of y'all who read the Bible, it says that the devil's ministry was music. That was his gifts and his talents was music. And so it is said that music is being used to inculcate the minds of the listener, right? And it's not good. And Defiance says none of them have given back to the black community. Fat Joe got so comfortable that he called himself casting the black community. Oh yeah, because of Bill Cosby. Yeah, I heard that. And he also said something else that was kind of crazy. I can't remember what it was because I actually did a story on it. Fat Joe, I forget what, but it was crazy what he said, right? He said, I think he says DJ Khaled was one of the greatest producers or something crazy like that, right? And I was like, okay, now you tripping. And Frank said, Sunlight, exactly. See how the white boy was elevated. And Nicole, you said, I thought you said Jay-Z and laugh a lot. I'm chewing too hard. No, that's okay. Because I was like, I think we all know he married to Beyonce, right? Unless something's happened in the last 5 minutes. I don't know. And Sunlight says, Donovan, Huey Lewis, and the News. Oh, for sure.
Yes, love them. Him and Ray Parker Jr. are continuing to sue each other over the song Ghostbusters because it sounds like I Want a New Drug. And it's been back and forth. Yep.
And you think about it, I mean, it kind of does sound like something that Huey Lewis and the News would do. I mean, I'm just saying, I love Ray Parker.
No, well, actually, Huey Lewis won, and Ray had to pay him, and then Ray sued him on something else. They truly do not like each other because, I mean, that was a big hit back in 1984. So.
You ain't lying. I mean, it's like, you say right now, who you gonna call? People say Ghostbusters, so, yeah. And Ashanta says, hello, stranger, by the whispers. I forgot the lady who sang the original song, but it sounded like she was singing to me. You talking about hello, stranger? I Oh, who is that? Give me a minute. It'll come to me. And Marty says, so I think on YouTube, and it seems like Facebook, anytime you speak on a topic that white supremacy is not for, they want to cancel you. And that's not a shame, flat out, but it's okay for them to do it. Like, really? Eddie, how you doing? And Eddie says, Donovan does those backdrops?
No, actually, my niece does them. My niece, she's a pretty talented artist. She gets it from her dad and her grandfather, but she does all of the background art back there. So
yes,
when you see pictures like that, other stuff is other stuff. But when you see pictures like that, that's my niece.
Yes, indeed. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go through some of these other comments that I haven't read of people for the sake of time. I appreciate y'all though. So let's see here. Who hasn't gotten a comment read? Eddie, I'll read another one of yours. It says, actually, the new music is called dancehall. It's the genre of reggae. Yeah, that's the one where they be humping each other off the stages and all that. Be jumping on their backs and stuff. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one. Get an injury messing with them.
See, look, she lying right there. Because when Patrick came out, Dee had her Timbs and all that other stuff, and she was moving and, you know, and I used to tell people. Yeah, I was telling people, Patra, she was all right looking, but what made her attractive was the way she moved.
Yes. I like Patra. Okay, so getting back to some of these comments. And Frank says, Pioneer Laugh Out Loud, Master P was grunting. Nah, see, you taking it too far, Donovan. Oh, all right, for real. Let me get to the bottom of these comments. I thank y'all so much for being patient with us. Yes, Frank, Phyllis Hyman, that's what they told us. She committed suicide. She was going through
pills.
some sort of depression, you know. So if you listen to some of her music, it's like, yeah, I kind of see, you know, where she might have been having some struggles. And Hubert, he says, Angie Stone, My Sunshine, just listen. That whole album right there.
Woo!
Man.
And who does she have a baby with?
D'Angelo. They have a baby.
Indeed. Yes, they have a baby together. And she also wrote on D'Angelo's album, and he wrote on some of hers and played.
Yes, indeed. All right, let me get to some of these other ones. Mr. Pie Brain says, I was in a go-go band, okay, in DC, and we used to play Mr. Magic by Grover Washington. Okay, now, yeah, go-go was huge in Washington, D.C.
What was the name of the go-go band that was on the School Day soundtrack?
You. What
was the song that made it to #2 on the R&B charts by EU?
Was it, so I'm going to say Doing the Butt, but that would be too easy. They had a slower song, right?
Taste of Your Love.
Yeah. Okay, and let's see here. The Pioneer says it's easy to explain. It's hard to promote the idea of white supremacy if Black people are making superior music. So the plan had to be remove good Black artists and replace them with inferior Black artists. Well, that's exactly what they're doing. And I said they are mixing R&B with trap music. Yeah. I don't understand trap music at all, but I don't try necessarily. And Jafia says R&B was called soul music during the 60s. Yes. And they also, back earlier then, if y'all correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they call it race music? Like before then, like when they were with Muddy Waters and all of them, didn't they call it race music, if I'm not mistaken? And let me see. Morning says, I met Donnie Simpson's brother once at a cabaret hall, and he was there. Those beautiful eyes. I was like about 19, 20 years old of age, and that brother kept hitting on me left and right, and I could have took him home. Wow, we got some tea in the comment section. Okay. Let's see. Yes, Jafia. Donovan is really good with trivia. I must say that. Yeah, that's, you know, the Speedo thing. The trivia might make up for it. So that's a good selling point.
I want you guys to remember this, though. Remember when I was in the military, I was a pilot. So I spent a lot of time flying. So I have over 8,000 flying hours. You convert that, that's almost a year of my life inside a tube. So when we're flying, we're not always yanking and banking. We're, you know, sometimes it's on autopilot. So I had nothing to do but read like the old Spin magazines and the, what was that? Right On, and, you know, those magazines that were still in publish. And when I used to buy a CD, I used to read the inserts and see who produced it, who published it, and all that, because I was really interested in that stuff. So that's where I think I kind of got a lot of my music trivia from. Kill time, kill time.
Yes, indeed. Donovan with the knowledge. And Mr. Pybrain says, next time you do a show about music, I can come on. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Jafia says, Bruno has given credit where it is due. However, he's still emulating our culture and making more money doing it than most Black artists. Now, that is probably true. Yeah, I would say so. My siblings went to a Bruno Mars concert. They lucked up and got some good deals, but his tickets were going for like $700 for regular seats.
Yeah, $500 and $700 in the nosebleed area.
That I would not, no way in hell, be paying for. Okay. And let's see here. Just getting down to the rest of these comments. Eddie says, I'm sure you are beautiful without makeup, child. Let me tell you something. Not going to tell you. I look, as the old people will say, this is not a sexual term, so don't take it the wrong way. I look rolled hard and put away wet. That's what, they used to do to horses. Now, I mean, it ain't that bad, but, I just prefer to put my best face forward when I come on here. I try to. But thank you. And let's see here. And Anani says, a Satan was made of musical instruments. I knew something he had to do with music. And Jeremy says, rest in power, Johnny Taylor. What you're saying is no matter what the subject is, as soon as Black people accidentally dominate and set records, then rules and laws yet change on that particular subject. Yeah, that is true. And I heard that weren't they trying to change the rules or something like that with Simone Biles in regards to her being in the Olympics. I'm not familiar.
The thing with Simone Biles is she's doing stuff that they're not giving her high enough scores on. So what they're trying to do is because she's the only one that can do them. So that's why they're trying to say, well, how do you score something when she's the only one that can do it? So they're working on a way to kind of maybe do a different scoring system when somebody introduces something that's never been done before.
Absolutely. All right. So getting back to these other comments. Yes, he did, Jafia, compare DJ Khaled to Quincy Jones. It's like, dude, cut that in half. You smoking a little too much. Yes, and I see y'all talk about Barbara Mason and Tina Marie. Yes, now I don't care what y'all say. Y'all get mad at me, cancel me today, but Tina Marie was a sister.
Yes. Her voice for a white chick was so unique than all the other artists. You can just tell Tina Marie. And
she loved the minister, and the minister loved Tina Marie. I'm gonna just put that out there. How you doing, Carmen, by the way? And let's see here. Yes, Barbara Lewis. And let's go down here to some of these other comments. Damon, what's going on with you? Said Demetra got a little singing voice on her, huh? It used to be a lot better, but now it's just shower type stuff,
All those cigars you be smoking.
Right. Sound like Marge Simpson and stuff. Tawana says, Barbara Lewis, hello, stranger. Yes, okay, that's what's Barbara Lewis. There you go. And Honeydew says, Minnie Riperton always feels like true love, loving you is sexy but classy. Yes. I like Inside My Love. My daughter, when I listened to that, she goes, that's nasty. I'm like, that's grown folks music. Go somewhere, little girl. And she's like almost 29.
And the remake on the Love Jones soundtrack, I forgot the name, it's escaping me right now who sang it, but she did a damn good job of Inside My Love. Yep.
Oh, shoot. It just slipped my mind. It starts with a T.
I can't remember right now, but she did a great remake of it.
Damn, it just because she did a duet with Jesse. What's his name? Man, that's how you know you're getting old.
Jesse Powell.
Yeah. What is her name? Y'all gonna tell us in the comments because y'all good. All right, so let's get down to the end of these. And Frank says, now hip hop, they sound like mumbling. Hip hop went from grunting to mumbling. All right. Johnny Mathis, yes, Crimson, yes, indeed. And Pioneer says, Queen, you keep saying, let me get to some of these other comments. That's why I put not to be read out loud on mine to make it easy for you and say sometimes. I appreciate that. And yes, Dark Matter said they did used to call it race music. See, I know a little something now.
Look at it. Anice got it. Trina Broussard did it. Trina Broussard.
Yes, there you go. I knew it. I could see y'all. Come on with the knowledge. All right, so let's see here. And you also say, Anais, I love reading that CD inserts, but they don't really, people don't buy CDs like that no more. And I'm getting down to the bottom here. Okay, I'm at the bottom. Honeydew says, random comment, but shout out to the black lady representative of Michigan that walked into the Capitol with armed black security and high heels. Okay, I got to see that. And yes, you guys coming through with the name, Trina Broussard. Brothers Hammond says another excuse they use with our sister Simone Biles as they don't want other gymnasts to get hurt attempting her moves. Like, stop it. Just stop it. And one says in some states, Demetri and Donovan, they may not even offer insurance for floods. And if they do, you pay a sensible amount, I think you meant. In Michigan, you can get basic insurance that can run you anywhere from 15 to 30. Okay. Jafari says they're claiming that what Simone is doing is too dangerous for that sport. So they are banning others from doing it. That means that Simone will not be given credit when she does her thing. Yeah, because it's the Yurchenko double pike bolt or something like that they're supposed to be changing to her name if she completes it at the Olympics. But you're right. That's their way of saying we're not going to give her credit for being the GOAT, right? I don't care what nobody says. That little girl is the GOAT. Forget the titles they give them.
Yeah, you know, title. But the thing about what I like about her story is the fact that it ain't like she showed up and was great all the way through. She had some step backs as she first started, but she kept getting better and worked at her craft. Now she's at the top.
And they hate it. You remember it used to be Nadia Comaneci and all, you know, the Romanians and all the white girls, and then they come the sisters like, oh, we're a little bit late, but we're here.
Now, real quick before we go, because I know we got to get out of here. Okay, trivia, and I'm gonna give this to anybody, and I know Anise is probably gonna get it. The guy that sang the hook on One Nation Under a Groove, he was the lead singer of one of the biggest groups of the 1970s. What was his name and what was the group? Oh, he sang that chorus, and he ended up joining George Clinton after he left that famous group in the 70s. And that famous group had more hits than anybody in the 70s and never won a Grammy. Not the Gap Band. Anybody. Okay, I'll give you a hint. The group that had more hits than any other group in the 70s was known in the 60s as the Detroit Spinners. And they morphed into the Spinners. The Spinners had more hits than any other group in the 70s and never won a Grammy. What was the name of the lead singer? I know y'all are Googling. Stop Googling.
You see my hands is right here, brother, okay? Right.
Philip Wynn. Remember he was the big guy for the Spinners? Sadie. That guy.
Okay.
I love you, sweet Sadie. He ended up joining, and he sang that chorus.
Somebody said Earth, Wind, and Fire, Bobby Taylor.
It was Philip Wynn. Philip Wynn. He ended up joining the Funk Nation and whatever, and he sang that chorus. And they say that was his biggest mistake leaving the Spinners.
Got it.
Yep, Dark Matter, yeah.
You got it.
And that was the biggest mistake they said he made when he left the Spinners.
Man, well, we got to do this more often, Donovan, with all this little knowledge you got. You're good for something. See, I knew eventually you was going to come through with something useful. Thank you. So anyway, y'all, we are out of here. We have went to the 2 hour and 7 minute mark. We appreciate y'all for being here. We appreciate everything you guys contribute to this conversation.
Early one Sunday morning, breakfast was on the table. There was no time to eat. She said to me, boy, hurry to Sunday school. Filled with the love. Go ahead.
Like for real, if I'd have just closed my eyes, I'd be like, damn, who turned on the radio? That was pretty good, Donovan. I think you missed your calling. All right, y'all, we are out of here. Thank y'all so much for being here. Appreciate everything you do. Again, we have a Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, or become a member or however you do it. on YouTube. We appreciate
And
y'all.
if you are interested in that new shirt that Demetra has, go to the website. It is
Tomorrow.
tomorrow, blackanddopeapparel.com. And, you know, you can get you one of those shirts.
And we should have put it in the chat, but I didn't do it. But for real, we're going to talk about it next week when we get it up on the website. I came up with this. I'm not black because I didn't vote for Joe Biden, right? Conversation started. Anyway, y'all, see y'all later. We are going to be back, Donovan, Wednesday or Thursday. But Donovan is live every day. You know, he got a lot more than I got to say. Anyway, he's live every day, but we'll be back together. You say Wednesday or Thursday?
What's better for you?
Y'all like Thursday? I like Thursday.
Okay, let's do Thursday.
Let's do, and we're gonna be back Thursday and Friday and Sunday. So anyway, y'all, we will see y'all later. You guys have a great rest of your day and stay cool out there and stay safe. Peace.